Monday, July 18th, 2:06 a.m. Drove Uber all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday night, I guess I was out doing Uber late. Delivered a pizza like at after 3 a.m. Sarpino's Pizza at some apartment complex near the plaza. This apartment complex was kind of like a crazy maze. The numbers on the doors and stuff didn't make a whole lot of sense, logic. The guy came out of his apartment and walked out, and it was like all these different levels going in every direction. It was kind of a weird place. Like I said, a crazy maze. But the guy came out of his apartment and saw me, and I gave him the pizza pretty quickly. I was leaving, trying to go back. I was getting kind of lost, walking around, trying to find how to get out of there and back to my car. And some guy's like saying, "Hey, you, do you live around here? Do you live here?" And I was like looking around, like I couldn't see anybody. There was lights, but it was dark too. And I didn't see who the hell it was, and I was like, "What? No, I don't live here. I delivered a pizza." And this guy's going, asking me other stuff. He goes, "Well, how can you deliver a pizza if you can't even find your way back to your car?" It's like, what? Who the hell are you? Go inside, go to bed. You're crazy. Leave me alone. Don't bother me. You're an idiot. I wasn't really scared because he was acting like he was a cop or something, but he wasn't dressed up in cop uniform. I thought, well, why is this idiot out here at 3:30 in the morning, 4 a.m. bothering me? No, I don't live there. No, I'm not a criminal prowler. I'm just delivered a pizza. And when he just made an insult to me, I knew that he saw my car and the lights blinking. He was just out there to insult me, and he was probably a cop or something, or some dumbass, maybe the apartment manager. Maybe he lived there and was an owner. And by the time I figured out how to get out of there, he was yelling at me, saying, "I'm going to get your plates. Give them to the police." Fine, go for it. You're an idiot. Who cares? I don't care. You're an idiot. You're crazy. You're insane. Leave me alone. I'm finished. I'm leaving. He kind of like fucking whimpered. Guess he was trying to scare me or something. He wasn't scaring me like a robber, like he was going to rob me. He was scaring me like what? I don't know. Dumbass fucking faggot punk. And, I guess there have been some murders down there in Westport in the plaza and bar fights or something out in the streets. It has happened recently. It's not something good. Uber hadn't been paying me that good. I worked, I don't know how much I made this week. It wasn't that great. Worked tonight. Everybody's just looking for something to use against them. Some people just like, who cares? You're fucking. Do I like being a Uber driver? My reply is, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I've let Uber know I'll be the chairman, get the board of directors. I own Uber also. One of the owners, and I'll take a contract to be the chairman from the board of directors. The original owner programmer sold out after the IPO, and he didn't want anything to do with it. But I will accept $1 billion a month to be the chairman. To maximize stock owner value of the company called me. I don't work for free. But anyway, it's kind of like Uber's kind of getting not wasn't a whole lot of money this weekend. It was busy, somewhat busy, but no, not any great, good, giant money. No, it's not that good. Pi Day's coming up this week, 22/7. 22nd, what is that, Thursday? Y'all party like Pi Day maniacs out there. Get yourself a little cherry pie and do some mathematical equations around the party table. I want to see how many digits you can recite pi. 3.14. See how many digits you can just go out and memorize off the top. Who cares? Yeah, I know. Get your calculators out. Pi r squared. Do all those equations. Trigonometry, whatever. How much fun can you have? It don't get funner than that, does it? Not a whole lot more fun than mathematics and equations and logic and perfectness. Perfectness with numbers and logic and everything else. That mathematical theory, real life, really reality in real life, No computers and all that, and the internet. It's all, and all that theory does make the computers and the internet and everything. It's applied and it's there, yeah. But let's just go back to you're no different than everybody else. Paycheck president of a hedge fund is $5 billion a year. I didn't disrespect you for my own hedge fund since I was 16 years old. So we'll just take $5 billion a year as minimum wage for me, the benchmark of minimum wage. And they owe me $5 billion a year since I was 16. All these punk ass stockbrokers who fucked me over in the court in the state of Kansas. So it starts with Merrill Lynch and the police and the courthouse. Hand me $1 trillion, each of you fucking punks. Smith Barney Payne Weber, hand me $1 trillion. And all the punks who gossiped of murdering my dad, you get fucking what you deserve. I was looking at these pictures from the Webb telescope out there and orbiting Earth. It's orbiting the Earth side of a tennis court. It's out there. It's further away from Earth than the moon is. It's an orbit of the Earth going around. They compared pictures of the Webb telescope to the Hubble telescope, which is here on Earth, and compared in the same picture, And obviously the telescope out in Webb out in space, further away from us than the moon, has a lot better pictures with more images and clarity than the one based here on Earth. But the thing is, they say they're taking these pictures of galaxies and universes and stars that are 14 billion light years away. Now, I had physics, Einstein physics, a light year, speed of light. The speed of light, it's an image emits the light, and it travels through space. But how do they know how far away these places are? How do they know how many light years it takes the light that they capture from where it originated? Now, how do they figure that out? I want to know. I don't know how they do that. So by the time the lens captures this light image that was emitted 14 billion light years ago, or just 14 billion Earth years ago, either way, the speed of light travels at, whatever it is, I don't remember it off the top of my head, E equals mc squared. E equals energy, the mass, times the speed of light squared. So when an image, the light you see, like me, what you see here is the light reflecting off of me in my image. Now, when that travels through space and it's visible here on Earth, and they say it originated 14 billion years ago or 14 billion light years ago, how can they figure that out? How do they know that? I don't know. I mean, by the time the light ray gets to the camera lens, does the camera lens, it can detect how old that light ray is, how far it's traveled? When we see stars or whatever, there are other galaxies, universes, whatever. The universe is the whole, everything. Galaxies, other galaxies. They say by the time we see some of these images on our telescopes, perhaps the original image is extinct and no longer even there. It's like it burned out. But the light that it originally sent out through the universe started 14 billion years ago, and then we just captured it. Now, I don't know how they figure that out. I'm not sure. I don't know how they figure that out. How they know how old the light ray is when they capture it on the lens. How do they do that? I don't know. I've been thinking about that. It's like, I don't know. How do they come up with these numbers? How do they know that? I mean, I don't know. Is there a way to figure that out? I guess. I don't know. Be interesting. I'd like to dig into that. I guess you could do, the speed of sound versus light, like lightning and thunder. In the sky, when there's lightning bolts, you may see those before you hear the thunder because light travels quite quicker than sound. So you see the lightning bolt before you hear the thunder. And even on TV, I can be watching the Royals game on TV, and then this guy called me on his cell phone and while he was at the Royals game. And I could hear the announcers say the game was over, the Royals won or lost, 30 seconds to a minute before the TV, said the same thing. And sometimes you can see different channels showing the same sporting event, and they're not exactly, or the radio and the TV, they're not exactly in sync with each other. So, that's how fast it travels through the antenna or through the air versus through cable TV or whatever, or through cell phone connections. I mean, all those things, I guess, how can they tell how old that light ray is by the time they capture it? How do they tell how it's 13 billion years old or 13 billion light years away? How can they know how? I don't know. The question I just thought about. But Merrill Lynch, hand me a trillion. You owe me a trillion for your punk ass disrespect. You murdered my dad. You had some look-alike identity thief steal his identity. All of his investment club friends seem to have look-alikes, people who look like him, and drive by me. Even now, after most of them have been dead for years. My dad's been dead for 10 years, 11 years, I see people who look like him drive around me, other people. Other people when they were alive drove around, that one guy with GFC license plate driving around, Olathe. And then these other people, that are my contemporaries, all have these people who look like each other, and I'm not sure if they're the people I know or somebody who looks like them. Not that I know them that great, or I see them every day or one time. Some of the people I haven't seen for a year or two, but I mean, I know who they are when some people from my high school and college and all the way back to grade school. Are they the same people that I think I remember, or they just look like them? I don't know. This is really me. Merrill Lynch, Smith Barney, and Payne Weber hand me a trillion. State of Kansas had me a trillion. All this respect needs worldwide national attention, and I need $5 billion a year minimum wage.